Hello and welcome to the broadcast by Serbian Language Podcast. Today we're going to answer the following question. What does it mean to be fluent in a language? The answer inside this episode. Check it out. So in this episode, we're going to talk about what fluency in a language is and what it is not. If this is your very first time tuning in, hello, my name's Cam. I'm the host of the broadcast by Serbian Language Podcast. This is the best place to get all the tips and tricks for learning the Serbian language. And so we're excited to bring all the resources to you. If you like what you're experiencing, please give us a big thumbs up, subscribe to the channel, and let us know what you think in the comments. Of special note, you've got to check out what Serbian Language Podcast has created in their free ebook, which is titled The Best Way to Learn Serbian. It's a free ebook. It's in the description, the link, so that you can download it right away and get started on some of the greatest tips to begin your language learning journey. Let's get right to it. For starters, I think the question, are you fluent? Is probably the most common question that all language learners get asked when they tell somebody that they're studying a language. If you tell somebody, I'm studying Serbian, I'm studying Spanish or Russian, the very first question most people are going to ask you is, are you fluent? And a lot of people don't know how to respond to that. I struggled on how to respond to that for a very long time. I guess I didn't know if I was fluent or not, and I had a very different understanding of what fluency is back then than I do now. And so I want to share with you on what fluency is and understanding that, and also what it is not. And let's start with what it is not. So a lot of people think that if you're fluent, it means you know every single word in the dictionary. But people ask you, they'll set you up for it too. They'll say, so, are you fluent? And then if you're like, yeah, I'm fluent because you have a high level proficiency, then they're going to immediately ask you, so how do you say whimsical in Serbian? And then when you sit there and go, I'm not sure. Oh, you're not fluent. You're not fluent. You know how to say whimsical, man. You're not fluent. Right? They're going to set you up like that. And the simple fact of the matter is that has nothing to do with fluency. I'm fluent in English. It's my first language. And I don't know every single word in the dictionary. In fact, sometimes I read books and I have to use a dictionary to understand some of the words that I'm reading. I can understand them in their context, but I need the dictionary to give me the exact meaning of the word in my own native language. So this is proof that fluency in a language is not the ability to memorize every single word in the dictionary. So what is fluency? Fluency is about the ability to seamlessly and quite freely navigate through the constructions and the systems of a language. That means going across the tenses. Remember, if you can do this, then it means you can insert any vocabulary word into that system. This is what it means to be fluent. If you're fluent in the systems, the structures, the constructions of the language, but you don't know every single word, you can still be a fluent speaker, and you can still consider yourself to be a fluent speaker. Because the goal, again, is not every single word, understanding that. The goal is understanding the constructions in the system. When you pull words out of isolation and you start asking, so how do you say whimsical? How do you say caterpillar in this language? Words you're going to use 15, 20 times in your life, depending upon what you do in your interests, right? If you start pulling them out of the actual systems and structures, they have no real meaning or connection to anything. And I'll give you an example of what I mean. So let's say that your computer breaks down. You take it to a computer technician and you ask the computer technician, can you fix this computer for me? They're probably going to say, sure, what's the problem? And then you do this. You turn around and you rip out a chip, a microchip, and you show it to them and say, what's that and what does it do? They're probably not going to be able to answer you. Why? Because that chip has been removed from the system that actually gave it meaning. They need to actually open up your computer, look down, see that microchip, see what it's connected to, see what's adjacent to it. And from there they can determine, so this is giving power to these three elements. They need to see the microchip in its context and in its system in order for them to be able to understand what it actually does. Then they could explain to you what it does. Language functions in much the same way. So if you're trying to become fluent, be nice and relaxed and understand your goal is not to be a flashcard memorizer. There are lots of those people out there who want to talk about, I know 1,000 words. I know 2,000, 5,000, 15,000 words. And then you ask that person, so can you use that word in a sentence? Across the tenses? Good luck with that one, right? So learning a language is about learning a system, not learning words. This is the reason why apps and all these things, they're not gonna save you. They're not gonna save you. It's popcorn for the mind. I'm not saying this to diss all the apps. I'm saying this because they really will distract you away from reaching your goal, which is to acquire fluency in the system of the language, because learning a language is learning a system. That's why you have to go to SerbianLanguagePodcast.com, where the system is introduced to you and it's broken down so that you can start making your own sentences and begin to see the different pieces of the language, how they connect to each other and create meaning. Because again, words don't have any meaning absent context. You don't just speak in one word. You can't really do that. You have to bring a lot of words together to create a sentence to convey thought. It's a beautiful thing, and I'll tell you right now, you gotta get plugged into this because it's going to change your brain architecture, and you're going to begin to realize that everything is a language. And it's a magical thing when you begin to kind of walk out into the world and see the different languages of architecture, of music, of speech, of auto mechanics. It's a crazy thing, but when you start learning languages, your brain architecture is immediately going to begin to start to comprehend this new system, and from there you're forever changed as a human being. So remember, your fluency is contingent upon your ability to navigate through the system of the language. So do not get caught up in all that flashcard, I know 1,000 words. That's great if you know 1,000 words or 2,000 words, but it's not great if you can't use those 1,000 words or 2,000 words inside the system of the language. In short, do not get discouraged if you're getting hit with this question a lot of, am I fluent? Am I fluent? Don't get discouraged. Stay nice and relaxed. You're doing great. Remember, it's about the journey. The fluency is going to come as you get more and more comfortable making the structures and sentences, and constructions malleable as you manipulate and play with them. And so it's so important to have a comprehensive resource that's going to give you all that you need to be able to actually do that effectively. If you enjoyed this particular episode of the broadcast, please give us a big thumbs up, subscribe to the channel, let us know what you think in the comments, and we cannot wait to talk to you soon. Stay encouraged, continue to learn, and just know that you are not alone in your language learning journey. We exist here to support you. Until next time.